to have something legislated like that I think is very important.
Joining me now is employment lawyer Laura Milne. Good morning. And a lot of people have expressed surprise that there isn't this right already.
We do have a provision in the UK employment laws at the moment wherein an employee can ask for what is called compassionate leave to enable them to have a period of time off to deal with the death or bereavement of a dependent. So there is something in place at the moment. However, there are no regulations in respect of payment for that period of time or how long that period of absence might last for.
And is that one of the difficulties, actually working out a length of time, because it will presumably differ from person to person here?
Indeed, it's very subjective. I think, as the lady who spoke to you earlier indicated, what might be a reasonable period of time for one person's issue might not be necessary for somebody else. Someone might want to get back to work sooner than another person. But I think generally it's recognised that a period of 1 or 2 weeks would be a reasonable period of time to take for compassionate leave.
And how difficult is it for employers to get the balance right here, to be seen to be sympathetic but also not have too much of a detrimental effect on their business?
Indeed, it needs to be handled very carefully. The first thing that they should do, and all employers should do this, is they should have a compassionate leave policy contained within their staff handbook, because clearly managers, when they first receive that awful telephone call that something tragic has happened to one of their employees, they're in a state of shock. They don't know necessarily how best to deal with it or how to manage the employee's situation. If they have a policy that's set out clearly and succinctly in their staff handbook, that gives them something to refer to immediately.
Is the difficulty there? You get into a system where you kind of, grade different levels of bereavement, whether it's a parent, whether it's a child, whether it's an auntie or an uncle or something?
It is difficult because someone might be very close to an aunt or uncle. It could be akin to a relationship with a parent. It has to be handled on a case-by-case basis, and each person who suffers a bereavement must be handled with care and with tentatively.
But do you think in general, though, these plans would offer more protection for an employer to say, this is the system that's in place, this is the minimum time you should be offering?
I do agree. I don't think we necessarily need a minimum period of time off, but I do feel that there should be prescribed limits for how long someone is entitled to take off. I was quite shocked to hear the lady speak earlier to say that her husband had only been entitled to 3 days. I think that's quite shocking for the death of a child. In my experience, most employers do provide 1 to 2 weeks, and they do usually provide a degree of flexibility for almost a phased return or periods of absence in the coming months to deal with certain issues that might arise.
Employment lawyer Laura Milne, thank you.
Thank you.
This is Sky News, and coming up, all the business news from the city and